19, I got my MD, and then I got my PhD when I was 22.
George is a gifted neuroscientist, but his work is heavily guarded by the Soviet state. And in 1976, he decides to leave.
I received an invitation, a visa from the United States to continue my work to Yale University.
George's wife, Nino, studying to become a chemist, would join him later.
I know that it was good for him. I knew he had to go, and I had to follow him.
But George's dreams and his destiny are on a collision course.
All papers were prepared, passport, pictures were taken, and I already had my foreign passport in my pocket. I was ready to leave for New York, to fly from Tbilisi, Georgia to Moscow, and from Moscow to New York. My wife was coming to meet me in airport. When I was standing on the sidewalk waiting for cab stop there, and suddenly this red car jumps on the sidewalk, and then it hits me.
Before anyone can help him, George dies on the stairs of the Tbilisi theater. Then how can he possibly come alive 3 days later on the autopsy table?
I felt absolute nothingness. I felt limbo. I felt that I am nowhere and I am not, but at the same time I am.
I was in the airport when I heard the news. They took me more than 1 hour before I get to hospital. They told me he was dead. I went in his room. I stayed there with his body. I talked to him. It was unbelievable.
September 14th, 1976. George is officially declared dead.
Certificate of death, citizen Rodonei Sotnik Grigorievich, died at the age of 20 years old.
His body is transferred to the morgue of Tbilisi Hospital number 8, where it takes a Soviet medical bureaucracy several days to arrange an autopsy. Standard procedure after a sudden death.
What happened to me was death. But I understood that death does not exist. And I started praying all my life. And I am watching something which is impossible in any description, and it exists. I was there.
George's body cools in the morgue.
All the scientific thoughts which were given to me by universities were nothing. They disappeared. There is no time. There is no distance. And then I see a lot of bubbles around me. They are chaotic. And then I see neutrons, protons, electrons divided into particles, particles divided into another parts, and then this all created oneness. And this oneness was beautiful existence.
Like the thousands of other documented cases of the near-death phenomenon, George experiences what is known as the life review process.
And then I saw my parents. They were political prisoners, and in 1956, when they were given allowance to go back to Moscow, they were arrested, and I see how they were killed. Then I saw my wife. she was crying. She was thinking that she was still young and she was already a widow.